Gives to Payton, leaps the middle of the line to the end zone, touchdown!
Greatness. In the NFL, greatness is measured in more than yards gained or games won. It's about lives transformed and people impacted.
There we go. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
The Walter Payton NFL Man of the Year Award is presented annually, honoring a player's commitment to philanthropy and community impact off the field.
Okay. Oh, okay. Nice move.
As well as excellence on the field. Walter Payton epitomized that impact.
Everybody is a role model.
Even as he rewrote record books in the NFL, he left his mark on his community in ways that still resonate today. That greatness is represented by the men who receive this title. In every city, their efforts have improved communities, turned passion into purpose, and provided reasons for hope. Because a legacy is not what you achieve, it's what you leave behind. Welcome to the 2024 Walter Payton NFL Man of the Year Special, presented by Nationwide.
I'm Jared Payton, and I'm honored to be your host to celebrate the league's most prestigious honor. The Walter Payton Man of the Year Award recognizes players who truly distinguish themselves in the game, in their community, and beyond. My father, he received this award back in 1977, and it eventually came to bear his name. It's an honor that transcends even his incredible on-the-field accomplishments. Each team nominates one player for this honor each year. The men who receive this recognition represent some of the best stories in football and happen to be some of the biggest names in the game. Holding that trophy is a crowning achievement, yet it represents just one step in what is often a long and winding journey. Washington Commanders nominee, linebacker Bobby Wagner, is a Super Bowl champion and a six-time first-team All-Pro. But that pales in comparison to the way that he turned personal tragedy into a means of honoring the most important person in his life, his mother.
Late rusher Bobby Wagner, and he got him! Wagner saw an open hole and gets a sack!
I think a lot of people watch what we do every Sunday and see all the spectacular things that we do on the field.
Watch into trouble, and he's sacked again!
But there's a lot of spectacular things happening off the field. I hate surprises.
For the last 13 years, we've done some pretty incredible things. It was always the question, and people always wanted to have a story about how you lost your mom. But you were intentional about when you wanted to tell your story. You just didn't want to tell the story of a son losing their mother.
That's my mother, Phinia Mae Wagner. My mom was a very beautiful person. She took over any room that she walked into. My mom suffered from a stroke. I was 18, and my brother, he was 14. He's the one that found her and called the cops. We didn't even know what stroke was, and we just think about what could have been if, we understood what to do and what the signs of stroke are. She was everything to everybody. When you took that piece away, it affected us a lot. So football was kind of like a place I could just get away and not have to worry about everything that was going on.
With the 47th pick in the 2012 NFL Draft, the Seattle Seahawks select Bobby Wagner.
This is a job that thousands of people get to watch you do good and bad. You kind of become like this household name, and it gave me a lot of resources in a lot of different ways. So you try to use those doors, whether it's in what you want to do life after football or it's trying to help people.
Just wanted to say congratulations on your Walter Payton Man of the Year nomination, another one.
My mom always wanted to make sure that, I did something more impactful outside of the football field, and this is me trying to do the work that I feel she would have done if she was still here. And I stayed later than anybody else, so you'll have that opportunity. So the reason why I'm here is because I had someone very close to me have a stroke. It was my mom. The Phinia Mae Fund helps people that suffer from stroke. I try to find a way to provide them the resources that I didn't have when my mom suffered her stroke.
We wanted to alleviate the burden that many of our patients couldn't afford because they were getting ready to go home. So far today, more than 5,000 of our patients will be able to be served by the Phinia Mae Fund.
As we speak, there are people who are getting wheelchair ramps built at their homes. They are getting wheelchairs. They're getting blood pressure cuffs.
Stroke is like a kind of serious thing, but we're trying to get younger people to know the signs of it, and they threw out the idea of a comic book.
Over 35,000 graphic novels have been distributed, meaning that we've educated thousands of youth and families to know the signs of a stroke.
So the F is for face drooping.
We're grateful to you, Bobby. Thank you so much for giving back to the community that you came from.
Your impact is amazing. It's unforgettable. Walter Payton himself would be proud of you.
You're not alone. Nice to meet you.
Hi, Bobby. Congratulations on your nomination for the Walter Payton Man of the Year Award. What a great honor.
In the world of football, this is kind of like the MVP for off the field.
I don't think anybody else should earn this award but you.
Hall of Fame teammate, a great brother of mine. I love you to death. I'm so happy for you and the family. Keep doing it.
Thank you for the foundation that you named after your mother. Shows that you are truly a great man, and I hope that you win this award. Thank you and love you.
They know I don't like surprises, so it's a cool video.
Through Bobby's efforts, the legacy of his mother, Phinia Mae, lives on in an unforgettable way. Coming up, we'll have more on how major stars have transformed their communities, like Jared Goff, using his influence to uplift the city of Detroit.
The students that I've been able to work with are so dang talented, so dang smart, so creative. To see these kids that are in this city that I'm able to play in, be able to grow and pursue their dreams, and for me to be able to support that is pretty special.
And Maxx Crosby providing help for those who need it most.
We're dealing with teen substance abuse, something that directly affects me. Giving back to kids that are going through the same thing I went through is something I really wanted to do at a major scale.
Plus, we'll meet the Man of the Year nominees for all 32 teams when the 2024 Walter Payton NFL Man of the Year special continues.
The Walter Payton NFL Man of the Year special is brought to you by Nationwide. Nationwide is on your side.
Welcome back to the 2024 Walter Payton NFL Man of the Year special, brought to you by Nationwide. I'm Walter's son, Jared Payton, and it's an honor to share these stories with you. Nationwide and the NFL are proud to recognize 32 nominees who represent the league's commitment to philanthropy and community impact, while maintaining the highest standard on the field. Their efforts are as rich and varied as the communities they serve, feeding the hungry, pushing for equality in education, and providing housing and employment assistance. Their touch is felt across their respective cities, and this year's class of nominees stand out in every imaginable way.
The Walter Payton Man of the Year Award celebrates the philanthropic spirit of its legendary namesake, recognizing players who excel in community service.
It's made me a better person, it made me a better man, knowing that I can influence the community and the kids in the community. I just don't know any other way.
It is the game's highest honor, and each team's nominee has made a lasting impact on communities who need it most. Countless hours of volunteer and charity work.
It's about, wrapping your arms around a community and wrapping your arms around kids and be able to put them on a path and a trajectory that hopefully will benefit their life in the future.
Oh yeah.
It means a lot, to me, and it's important to me to be able to use my platform to make the community better.
Listen, I put future wide receiver on there. You got to stick with it now.
The Buffalo community has made me into a different person. They've helped me, just realize the effect that I can have on lives.
Their efforts include advocating for personal causes and inspiring action to support them.
It's just such a cool feeling and just such a blessing for me to be able to help them and get them through whatever times they're going through.
It's about living for something bigger than yourself. And it's about helping those who need help.
We want to provide a space that really gives them every opportunity to be great.
I'm very thankful, man, that this city has taken me in with open arms. Having a positive impact here on the community is very important.
It's not about getting the spotlight. That's not it for me. I want to make change.
Some of you guys are in foster care, been adopted just like me.
That impact, those are the moments that I think mean the most.
I want to fight for those who are struggling. I want to fight for those who are oppressed. That is just kind of who I've come to be.
To be a light in the community, and that's my goal.
Each team's nominee has worked to transform their communities in a positive way, changing lives in the process.
Get so much support. To be able to come out and give back, it's pretty cool.
To say that, I made people's lives better, especially the youth.
I got each and every one of you guys a gift card. You like the Grinch? Any way I can be an inspiration, smile, to give these kids, it's a great feeling.
Because that's what inspiration is pretty much all about, to something that inspires you inward so that you can achieve something outward.
It's awesome because never being able to be in this position, but being there where I'm at now, being able to give back is what I'm here for.
It's just important kids know that, I was walking those same streets and they can make it and have opportunity.
If you give without the expectations of anything being returned, that can change and alter a kid's trajectory.
At this year's NFL Honors Ceremony, one of these distinguished nominees will earn the ultimate recognition as the Walter Payton NFL Man of the Year.
Each nominee comes from one of the league's 32 teams, which means that every city in the NFL's footprint has been affected by their work in some way. Quarterback Jared Goff. He was traded to Detroit in 2021, and since then, he's become a fixture in his adoptive city in many ways. He's channeled his efforts into improving educational and career prospects for youth in Detroit with profound results.
Resilient is a great word to describe our city. It truly is what this city's about. I'm Jared Goff, and I play quarterback for the Detroit Lions. In the early 2000s, when the real estate market crashed, I hit this city hard and it's had a nice little renaissance in these past few years. And now seeing the uprise and seeing the positive direction the city's going in and kind of paralleled with our team's success, it comes out in who we are as a team and who we are as players. I've always been very passionate about helping children and more importantly, helping children that have big dreams. JG16 is the vehicle for which I'm able to give back to the Detroit community. We've partnered with Give Merit and more specifically the FATE program to allow students to design and create merchandise. The proceeds of that merchandise is given back to those students in the form of scholarships for them to continue to pursue their dreams.
JG16 is essentially for the future, by the future. Well, I'm passionate about all things art related. I love to paint, I love to sketch, I love to design clothes. That's cool. I like this one.
It's a nice.
I like fashion because, it's like a different art form to me. I like seeing fashion be shown in different ways and being able to create a design.
So what do you want to do for college, Romani?
I want to go to Central Michigan and major in cinema arts. What do you want to do, Samaya? I think I want to study advertising and marketing.
I think that it is harder to grow up in a place that is lacking investment in education in our young people than it should be. So we are tasked with doing this design, right? It's FATE and JG16, it's year 3. Our whole mission is to help young people aspire. We want to give them as many real life experiences as possible so that you're not waiting until you are, a full-fledged adult to realize that you can change the world. You understand that you are that world changer. I want you to just think about images and words that come to mind when you think about Detroit. I have learned most of what I know about the city of Detroit through the eyes of the young people that we work with, through their families. What you see there is bright. What you see there is hope. You see that in the young people every single day.
I would describe growing up in Detroit as from what I hear, it's terrible. It's not terrible.
As a youth in Detroit, I feel like, of course it was a struggle, but I feel like our community, I feel like we come together to make it stronger.
There's just something about Detroiters where there's this bounce back ability. A lot of the people that I know and people that I've met, if something knocks us down, we have the ability to get back up. And that's what our city has been like.
Oh my God. I'm so happy to see literally everybody.
I am a graduate from Jalen Rose Leadership Academy. I am also a FATE alumni. There's a lot of mentors who want to see you succeed in life, want you to go to college and actually become something with your life.
I'm a Lions fan, and having the opportunity to design clothes for the quarterback of the team is very special. Seeing our ideas come to life is amazing.
Being nominated for the Walter Payton Man of the Year award, to me, is one of the highest honors you can receive in the NFL.
He's definitely got all of our votes on the merit team for the Walter Payton Man of the Year.
He's incredibly deserving of this award just because of his integrity, his leadership that he shows.
It's more than a brand to him. It's like something that helps people.
Grit City, yeah.
Them designing these clothes is a step on their kind of entrepreneurial journey. I'm just so proud of them. The students that I've been able to work with are so dang talented, so dang smart, so creative. To see these kids that are in this city that I'm able to play in be able to grow and pursue their dreams, and for me to be able to support that is pretty special.
What makes work like this so important is that it has the ability to change lives for generations. And that vision of a better future for those to come is shared by each and every nominee. When we come back, we continue our closer look at this year's 32 nominees, brought to you by Nationwide, who are proud to celebrate the players on and off the field. Those nominees include Raiders star Maxx Crosby, whose life-saving efforts are driven by personal struggle.
It could either go two different ways. It was either like he was on the path of destruction and potentially dying, or he was gonna get sober.
There were so many people along the way that helped me. For me, I feel like it's the least I could do to give back to others in need.
Plus, a conversation with the 2023 Man of the Year recipient, Cam Hayward.
To be recognized with a fraternity of men that do so much around the world and care for so many people, I'm thankful to be part of that group. But, you know, once you're part of the group, the work doesn't stop.
The 2024 Walter Payton NFL Man of the Year special continues after this.
Nationwide is proud to recognize players doing so much more by delivering greatness on the field and in their community.
Welcome back to the 2024 Walter Payton NFL Man of the Year special, brought to you by Nationwide. For so many of these nominees, the causes that drive them are deeply personal. Browns cornerback Denzel Ward has earned 3 Pro Bowl selections, but even more impressive is the work that he's done off the field. These life-changing efforts are inspired by the memory of someone who remains close to his heart.
Before I go out in every game, I still say the saying to myself, make them know your name.
Ward's got it. Picked off.
That's something my dad told me all the time before I go out and play. My dad was an amazing dad. He's the man that taught me how to be a man.
Their dad was their role model. I mean, they looked up to him. He was the one that set the example. He was a no-nonsense type of dad, and he would even tell them, I'm raising you to prepare you for real life. Everybody's not going to be nice. Everybody's not going to be your cheerleader. But you still need to hold your head up high, and you still need to continue to move forward, and you still need to represent, and you still need to make them know your name. My husband, he passed away on May 2nd, 2016. Sudden cardiac arrest is what Denzel's dad passed away from very unexpectedly in a spin class up at a local gym.
The loss of my dad changed my life dramatically. I think it was a defining moment. I feel some people could either go down a real dark road, or you could take a different direction and try to make a positive change with your life. When coming into the league, our family got together and we just wanted to come up with something to help prevent fatalities from happening in other people's lives. And it just seemed like a no-brainer to go with heart health and name it the Make Them Know Your Name Foundation.
One of the things we found out after my husband passed away and in doing research is that an automatic external defibrillator is something that could have potentially helped to save his life. I went back to the gym and found out that there was an AED. And even though the AED was 32 steps away, for whatever reason, no one took the initiative to use the AED that was mounted there on the wall.
In the United States, more than 350,000 out-of-hospital cardiac arrests occur every year. 90% of those are fatal, mostly in part because people are not receiving bystander CPR more than half the time. We started working with Denzel and Nicole a few years back. Since we have started working with them, we have placed over 160 CPR Anytime training kits into the community.
Denzel Ward and Nicole Ward from the Make Them Know Your Name Foundation wanted to make an impact, and the way that they wanted to do that in partnership with Avive was to place life-saving equipment, or AEDs, throughout the greater Cleveland community in businesses, in community centers, in schools, and more. And we're really excited to see almost 100 devices of Avive Connect AEDs have already been deployed.
Make sure the pads are placed on the patient's bare skin, exactly as shown in the pictures.
What we are doing as a foundation is providing the training, the education, the resources, and even more importantly, instilling the confidence in people to take action when faced with sudden emergencies, such as sudden cardiac arrest, and being willing to step up and perform those techniques so that another family doesn't have to face what we had to face.
You know, when someone like Denzel steps onto the field, it's more than just a game, it's more than just football. He's really spreading awareness and empowering people that look up to him.
I can't thank Denzel enough for the work he's doing to spread awareness about this critically important problem.
Each day when Denzel wakes up, that is his focus, that he just wants to be a help to someone else. And his dad would be very proud.
Denzel Ward with the pick. What a game it has been for Denzel Ward.
I hope my legacy will be to just help spread heart health awareness with the foundation and teach people how to use CPR and AED kits, continue to save lives and impact lives in positive ways. We're gonna keep pushing and trying to help impact the world in a positive way.
Ward is a powerful example of how tragedy and personal adversity can lead to positive transformations. For Raiders defensive end Maxx Crosby, that path means learning from his own experience and providing urgent support for those facing the most devastating of circumstances.
Crosby in his face, and he drives him to the turf. Maxx Crosby hits another Raiders sack.
The word I use with Max all the time is sacrifice. Everything he's been through as a human being, everything he's been through as a player, what he's willing to sacrifice his body for his teammates, his commitment to this organization, he never gives up.
He's trying to dunk, he's trying to dive, and Crosby the sack!
I want to be the best on the planet at what I do as a football player, but it also applies to off the field. So anything I put my heart into, I want to be the best at that. And that's affecting other people's lives and change.
In college, he would just go out, party for like days at a time, and then come home, go to meetings, and then play football, and everyone thought it was just like normal. And then it got really bad when he got into the NFL. I tried so hard to save him, and then I realized I couldn't. I knew me leaving, it could either go two different ways. It was either like he was on the path of destruction and potentially dying, or he was gonna get sober. 4 months later, he decided to get sober. It was the best decision he ever made.
Being in this position, I didn't do it alone. There were so many people along the way that helped me along my journey and are still helping me to this day. For me, I feel like it's the least I can do to give back to others in need.
He's still the same person, just he's taken his addiction and channeled it into such positive ways. We started the Maxx Crosby Foundation last year. It's something we've always talked about since he got sober, but he kind of wanted a bigger platform for himself first before we decided to launch this thing.
It's a long time coming. That's something that holds a special place in my heart. We're dealing with teen substance abuse, something that directly affects me. Giving back to kids that are going through the same thing I went through is something I really wanted to do at a major scale. We're focused on animal rescue as well, fostering dogs, getting them forever homes, and paying for surgeries, things like that.
So we've recently started the Maxx Fund that is dedicated to helping mostly teens that need financial assistance with addiction and with their recovery. Some are saying I need help, but so many are just saying I got the help I needed, and it was because of Maxx and his story that inspired me to get the help that I finally needed.
Thank you so much on behalf of Hope for the City for the difference you're making. Means a lot. You're giving literally thousands of kids a Christmas to remember, and you're assuring that no child will go hungry during the holidays.
You guys want some football? Here you go. You guys good? Merry Christmas.
I think there's a deeper purpose with everything that he does, and it's from the heart, it's from his soul. It's not to check a box. Everything he does is with all of his emotion, all of his being fully invested.
There's nothing better than hearing that he is the Walter Payton Man of the Year nominee once again for the Raiders.
Being a kid, like seeing all the nominees and everything, you know, growing up, like I never would have imagined being in this position. At that time, I was a kid going through an addiction issue, you know what I mean? I was the wild, out of control version of myself, and it just makes me super grateful that I'm almost 5 years sober now. It's a blessing to say the least.
I'm so proud because I've always knew he had it in him. I just wanted him to see him like how I saw him. So it's like finally nice to get to a spot where he like finally sees that too. It's been like amazing.
On the field, I want to be an icon, and off the field, and that starts with helping others and putting others first, and it always comes back twofold, and I live by that.
Coming up, a conversation with the 2023 Walter Payton Man of the Year, Cam Hayward, whose personal cause is guided by his late father, the late, great Craig Ironhead Hayward.
My dad only had one suit throughout high school and college, so we decided a great idea was to create these Craig's Closets so young men could have suits for job interviews, college interviews, prom, you name it.
The 2024 Walter Payton Man of the Year special continues in a moment.
Nationwide is proud to recognize players doing so much more by delivering greatness on the field and in their community.
Welcome back to the 2024 Walter Payton NFL Man of the Year special, brought to you by Nationwide. I'm Jared Payton. One theme that connects these stories is emotion. That also applies to each winner when they receive this unparalleled recognition, which is widely considered football's most prestigious honor. And one of those winners is Cam Hayward. Cam, it's so good to see you, my man. Thank you so much for joining us. Congratulations on being the 2023 Man of the Year. You've been doing so much work for so long consistently. How does it feel to be known that you're among the fraternity of men that call themselves Man of the Year?
It really hasn't set in. I feel not worthy of such a great cause, you know. I'm all about doing the work, but to be recognized with a fraternity of men that do so much around the world and care for so many people, you know, I just try to do my part, and I'm thankful to be part of that group. But, you know, once you're part of the group, the work doesn't stop.
It doesn't stop. I want to play back something from your speech at Honors that really moved me, and the honoring of the legacy of your father, and that really touched me. Let's take a look.
When I talk about my dad, he wore number 34, and, you know, he's been with me the entire time. He's been with me every step of the way. But I know there was another 34 that was helping me. This man, Walter Payton. And he's changed so many lives that now I have the opportunity to be part of such a great fraternity and the Walter Payton finalists and winners. But I'll make sure I do my part.
It was at that moment that I had tears just streaming down my face. What does it feel like for you to be connected to both 34s?
It's big shoes to fill, and shoes you'll never fill. You know, you're just trying to walk in the way that great men before me have always done.
Well, you're having an amazing season on the field, and you're balancing being one of the NFL's best players and also dedicating so much time off the field as well. Why is it so important to you?
Well, it's important for me because I'm in a city where I was born. Coach Tomlin, he always instills in us that it's not enough to just win a Super Bowl here. We have to be great men. We have to represent our city, our community, and keep giving back.
Oh, that's awesome. You started the Hayward House and also Craig's Closet in memory of your father. What's the mission of both causes?
I think the mission for my foundation is to help out so many in need, whether it's in Pittsburgh, in Atlanta, where I also grew up as well. And through the Craig's Closet, you know, my dad only had one suit throughout high school and college. So, you know, we decided a great idea was to create these Craig's Closets in high schools so young men could have suits, you know, nice shirts, for job interviews, college interviews, prom, you name it. And, you know, we want to set these kids up so they're not just having a good suit, but they're able to attack life and feel, you know, comfortable and secure in what they're doing.
How do you think that the 32 nominees should feel about being recognized for this honor?
You should be excited about that opportunity. Keep shining a light on the great work you're doing. Be thankful for that, but continue to keep doing the work and understand that, you know, it can only be 32 a year, but you guys are the cream of the crop.
Cam, I love you, man. Thank you so much for giving us some time today. You are the best, man. Take care. Talk to you soon.
Appreciate you, Jared. Love you, brother.
What an honor to talk to my guy, Cam Hayward. Those who received the Walter Payton Man of the Year award know it's much more than just a line on a resume. It represents inclusion into a fraternity that endures forever. I know my father will be proud of the men who have followed in his footsteps, and those of us in his family, well, we share the same pride.
For more than half a century, the NFL has recognized its greatest leaders on and off the field with a singular distinction: Man of the Year. There is no higher honor in the National Football League, and for more than a decade, Nationwide has proudly partnered with the NFL on this important tradition. Nationwide congratulates these men who are so much more than NFL players. To be nominated in and of itself is a tremendous honor, but only one will be named the 2024 Walter Payton Man of the Year.
Still to come, Jacksonville Jaguars defensive end Eric Armstead leaves his charitable imprint on both coasts.
I struggled personally with reading at a young age, and each student needs something different, and it's on us to figure out what that is and help them with that.
Plus, Cam Jordan weighs in on what it means for him to be the Walter Payton Man of the Year nominee for the Saints.
One positive action can create more positive actions. If you give without the expectations of anything being returned, that can change and alter a kid's trajectory.
The 2024 Walter Payton NFL Man of the Year special continues after this. We return to the 2024 Walter Payton NFL Man of the Year special, brought to you by Nationwide. There's a consistent trait you'll find in all of these nominees, channeling their inner efforts to making sure that the needs of others are met. Jets defensive tackle Solomon Thomas has faced unimaginable tragedy in his own life, and through the pain of that experience, has founded purpose in the mission of helping others.
What's going on, everyone? First of all, I really just appreciate y'all having me here and giving me this platform to talk. And the main thing I always tell people when I talk about mental health is that it's okay not to be okay.
My family and I, we started the defensive line, where our mission is to end the epidemic of youth suicide, especially for young people of color, by transforming the way we connect and communicate over mental health. The way we're making a difference is we're going into schools and we're running these suicide prevention programs.
Back when I was in high school, we were having these conversations. Back in high school, I probably wouldn't show up to a talk like this.
We provide an action plan, education, we provide, resources in the area to make sure that we can help save those around us. And we did this in honor of my sister Ella. In 2018, we lost Ella to suicide. When I was younger, it was me always looking up to Ella. She was my big sis. She was like the person I wanted to be like. I knew that she had my back. And from then on out, that was just my person. After Ella died, I really just wanted to crawl up in a shell and just stay there. But then going to family therapy, we really learned how to be there for each other. We learned how to talk about it and truly cope. All the work we're doing, this is work Ella wanted to do. She wanted to help kids and young ones who struggle with mental health like herself.
Sometimes the biggest thing about mental health is listening and being an open ear. You don't have to know what to say. If you see someone who's struggling, be like, hey man, I know you're struggling, but I just want you to know that you don't have to talk to me, but I'm here for you if you ever want to talk. Those are the conversations that can save lives.
I think Ella would be so proud. I think she'd be so proud, so I just want to keep making her proud. Being a Walter Payton Man of the Year nominee means the absolute world to me. It's the highest honor in the NFL. To be chosen as a Jet, I feel like I'm blessed with this platform to be able to give back and impact other people. Hello, how y'all doing?
Hi.
Appreciate y'all coming.
Thank you.
You really helped me out today.
Oh, I appreciate it.
You said I could so completely relate to.
I appreciate you coming.
Yeah, thank you. Keep going every day. Just take it day by day, man. I really want to make sure people don't feel alone. I really want to make sure people can get the help they need. If we can impact one person's life, if we can save one person from going through what Ella went through, if we can save one family from going through what we go through from the pain of losing Ella, it's all worth it.
For Thomas, the drive to make a difference will always be rooted in the sense of family. When Jaguars defensive end Eric Armstead was a kid, he experienced his own struggles. Now his commitment to charity includes supporting literacy efforts in Jacksonville.
Looking back, I never would imagine I'd be where I'm at now. When I got to the NFL, I knew I wanted to give back. Watch out. Here come the cool beans. The cool beans. I never would have thought I'd be reading to kids back at that age when I was struggling to read myself.
We started noticing that Eric had some issues with reading, probably first grade.
I definitely struggled in reading when I was young. Those were the really tough years, constantly being told that I'm not as good as my other classmates. And second grade was a lot better because of my teacher, Miss Kell.
We found out, yes, he was below grade level and he struggled with his reading.
Miss Kell really inspired me, where I feel like a lot of other teachers didn't understand me and they kind of discouraged me.
Mrs. Kell was just sweet, outgoing, and I think she went the extra mile. And then when we discovered that Eric still had problems with reading, she helped me to advocate and she listened.
I remember her having so much patience with me and really taking the time to help me learn and grow.
We touched each other's lives for that moment in time. And 22 years later, here we are.
The Armstead Academic Project is an organization that we started in 2019. Our goal is to ensure that every student, no matter their socioeconomic status, has access to the tools, resources, and safe places they need to thrive and be successful.
He's very passionate about being a servant, about wanting to bless others with what he has received. And so AAP kind of came out of that. And literacy is how it started. It seems like a small thing, struggling with reading in first, second, third grade, but it's actually the foundation our society is built on.
Reading was a big struggle of mine when I was you guys' age, and it took a lot of people supporting me and getting extra help to overcome my struggles in reading.
It's a vulnerable thing when you can't read. So to share that as an adult, he's saying, I once was you and I struggled with reading, and I think that gives kids hope.
The Walter Payton Man of the Year nomination is special because it really has nothing to do with football, but what you have done with this opportunity to play in the NFL.
His foundation is something that is very warm and dear to my heart to have heard that he started because of the struggles that he had.
There's so much to admire about Eric. I think he's an incredible human being, and I'm most proud of that.
I think it's our social responsibility to do these things, and being honored for that is really special and really impactful for trying to be the change that we want to see in our world.
One thing you'll notice as we share these stories is the variety of ways these nominees have gotten involved and made a difference. Saints defensive end Cam Jordan weighs in on what it means for him to be the Walter Payton Man of the Year nominee for the Saints.
Saints bring 4, but there's pressure and he'll go down. That is going to be Cam Jordan.
It's a huge blessing to be nominated for the Walter Payton Man of the Year. There's so many good people in this world trying to do good things. So to be nominated, it just feels like the work that I'm doing is being acknowledged, and at the same time, there's still so much work to do. And Walter Payton makes you feel inspired to do more.
I try to be involved.
How you guys doing? One positive action can create more positive actions. One positive person, one smile can create more smiles. So every time I hit the city, every time I hit a community event, every time I hit an elementary or a high school, it's creating a positive impact. It's creating hopefully a positive insight into what life could be for some kids. And it's honestly just the idea of if you give without the expectations of anything being returned, that can change and alter a kid's trajectory. Whether that's in school, whether that's at his home, whether that's in his life in general. And you can see the effects. How you doing? You guys good? You guys good? Yeah. Over the last 14 seasons, can you imagine when I was 21 talking to these kids, fast forward 14 years, these 7-year-olds are 21-year-olds, these 10-year-olds are 24. They come back and they tell me like, hey, I remember when you came to my school and like now I do this and now I do that. I'm giving back in my own way. That just re-inspires as well as confirms my thoughts of a positive entity, a positive thought can create more positive thoughts.
Up next, Bucs receiver Mike Evans channels personal experience into charity with remarkable results.
I just, think about it when I was a kid, when things were more simple, how that could affect my life as somebody that I looked up to, looking out for me when I worked hard.
The 2024 Walter Payton NFL Man of the Year special returns in a moment.
In the NFL, greatness is measured in more than yards gained or games won. And Nationwide is so much more than an insurance and financial services company. They're also the proud sponsor of the Walter Payton NFL Man of the Year Award. This year's nominees go above and beyond expectations, both on the field and in their communities. Nationwide congratulates all the nominees on this well-deserved honor and thanks them for everything they do for the game they love and the causes they champion. Nationwide is on your side.
We return to the 2024 Walter Payton NFL Man of the Year special brought to you by Nationwide. Buccaneers nominee Mike Evans' story is a memorable example of how the seeds of philanthropy can grow in meaningful ways in every community.
What position you play?
I play safety. Yeah.
So you can tackle?
Since I was a child, I've always watched my favorite athletes give back, and I always said if I was able to, to be in this position that I would do the same. We only have a short window to play, and then I have a long window to help and give back after this.
That's cool.
The Mike Evans Family Foundation was formed December of 2017 to help underprivileged kids get to college.
All right, let Chris get into his locker, man. He just had a little workout.
Another focal point in our foundation is domestic violence. Me and my wife know how detrimental that can be to one's family. And that's why I wanted to start it, to leave a legacy for when I'm done playing, be great on the field, but be even better off of it.
Look, I be smelling fresh. Look.
Well, you need to spray this whole locker.
Nah, my locker smell good though.
It's awesome being a role model and being this adult and being a pro football player. But I just think about it when I was a kid, when things were more simple, how that could affect my life if somebody that I looked up to recognizing me, let alone getting me gifts, looking out for me when I worked hard.
That's y'all stuff. Y'all want something for Christmas, huh?
Winning the Walter Payton Man of the Year award, it'll probably be over every award I got, Pro Bowl or All-American in college. This would be better. A lot of the guys that have won the award, you want to be like those guys. They kind of motivated me to be more like them. Just to be in this conversation, there's a lot of guys that do tremendous things in their community. I'm truly honored. I'm only going to be a football player for so long. I can do philanthropy for the rest of my life, so that'll be an awesome award to win.
Mike Evans is one of 32 players that have made a substantial impact and left an enduring legacy across the country. It's bigger than charity. These men are using their platforms to transform lives in astonishing and lasting ways. Their effort might be largely focused on their own cities, but make no mistake, the work that they are doing is changing the world. My father would have been so proud of each and every one of them. Be sure to tune in to NFL Honors during Super Bowl week for the announcement of this year's winner. And thank you for tuning in to the 2024 Walter Payton NFL Man of the Year special presented by Nationwide. On behalf of the entire Payton family, I'm Jared Payton, and we'll see you next time.